All right, we're here with the All-Pro team for our All-Pro team talks. My name is Chris Reynolds. This is Dwayne Hicks and Tabi Barber. We make up the All-Pro team, and if you didn't know, if you stay tuned to all our other podcasts, we live in the West Georgia area. We hadn't all come from here, but somehow we all ended up here, and it seems fitting to talk about, considering we sell real estate and we talk about being part of people's stories, why we love this place we call home. And so, Dwayne, why don't you tell us where you came from, kind of how you got here, and really what you love about Carroll County?
Well, I grew up in Kentucky, and I was nicknamed the Hicks from the Sticks because it was way out in the country. But I grew up in Kentucky, and I was called to ministry, so I went to Knoxville, Tennessee, went to Bible college. And
you went from one hill to another hill.
Yeah. And went to Tennessee and went to college there and got a degree and worked in youth ministry, student ministry for 20 years. And after I had graduated from college, about 2.5 years after graduation, I ended up in West Georgia and loved it. I fell in love with the climate, the people, the location, and then when it was time for me to leave ministry, some things changed in my life and my ministry. I ended up in real estate. I feel like I swerved into it, but there's a lot of people like me that I feel like kind of swerve into this business because it's a people business.
Sure.
And I loved working with people, and so I've lived here now since 1986.
Okay.
So that's 35 years, something like that, or whatever.
Right.
And I love Carrollton. I live south of Carrollton, out in the south end of the county, but I love our downtown, our green belt, our amphitheater. I just love the vibe and the culture of our city.
Yeah,
just absolutely love living here, and so it's real easy for me to point out the positives.
Sure,
of where we live.
If you enjoy it,
yeah,
you hope others would.
Absolutely.
So, Tabi, you didn't come from the sticks or the hills.
She doesn't have that accent like that. She doesn't sound like that.
No. So tell us where you kind of came from and how you got here and all of that jazz.
Okay. Lived most of my life in South Florida,
Yeah.
big town, Fort Lauderdale. And about 7 years ago, we moved up to Georgia for my husband to start a business with his brother in Atlanta. We didn't want to live in Atlanta because we've done the big city thing, didn't want to do that. So we had friends that lived out in West Georgia, and we came out this way, and we fell in love with Villa Rica, Carrollton. We found a home in Villa Rica, made some good friends.
We are VR.
We are VR.
That's it. It's happening. Yeah, always.
But we hang out mostly in Carrollton.
Of course.
But love the small town.
Sure.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Found a great church. Small town, love going into town for all the concerts and all the fun little venues that we have there. So.
Yeah, it is really a cool town. I didn't come as far as you guys. I was born and raised here outside of Atlanta, really in the Smyrna area. When I was in the 6th grade, my school got vandalized by gangs, and I remember my mother being from out here. Well, there's a lot of mix here. She's from Key West in Miami area, but then lived in Carroll County a good part of her raising. And so she said, we're moving back to Villa Rica. And I remember getting off of I-20, and there was no red light there yet, and a cow walked across, and I thought, oh my goodness, Mom, what have we done? What have we done? But I've been living here ever since, kind of traveled around the world.
How old were you then?
6th grade, so I mean 11, 12, something like that. But it was pretty. It was an incredible change. But I remember being so mad. But I too, like you guys, love. I mean, me and my wife moved to San Diego, California. We've experienced all this. I remember Kelly saying, "Whatever we do when we go back to Georgia, it will not be in Villa Rica." And here we are in Villa Rica. And so, but we love our town too. And I think both of you kind of touched it, but it's community. I mean, it's being able to plug in, whether it's church, whether it's things to do in town, or just the friends that we come up with. That's extremely beneficial to you and your family where you live, right?
That's right.
I mean, so what are some of those other things that, people can get plugged into out here in Carrollton or the West Georgia area that you guys would suggest?
Well, we have a great cultural arts, fine arts community here, and having University of West Georgia, I've taken in concerts and plays and stuff like that there, as well as downtown at the community arts. We have some great amateur actors and actresses in our town, and just a cool program. And then there's tons of cool eateries here, so you can make a cool weekend, get out of town, or get out of the house a little bit and go downtown. And then when there's a great show at the Amp, you bring your lawn chairs and make an evening. And now Local Ties Brewery is right across the way.
Which is
just
awesome.
Cool. It's a cool place to be and hang out. There's just a ton of cool stuff to do in the downtown area. And my hat is off to a lot of our local leaders who had the foresight to see some of that coming. And it's been fun being a part of it from a real estate standpoint, being able to help and give counsel and guide a little bit with that. And so I absolutely love it. And when people come here, and there's a lot that the college or the university brings to our town by way of students and things to do. Sometimes there's some negatives with that, but it's mostly positive because there's mostly good students and good actors, but there's a few crazy ones that were probably like you were in college.
Very much so.
But it really is. I think there's just something for just about everyone here. And if you want to catch a Braves game or something big, we're not that far from the big city, and so we can go run and do it and come home back into the country.
So I mean, Tabi, you coming from like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, I mean, probably off of your exit or just a couple rows down, you could get into anything. So coming to a small town like this, I mean, the pace is clearly different, but there's some benefit to that, right?
Right. Much slower.
Yeah.
Much slower. We like that. When we do go back, we notice the traffic.
Right.
We don't like the traffic.
The hustle and bustle when you go back to the city's like, oh.
And we also like the little mom and pop places, the little mom and pop restaurants. We'll
Buy
avoid
local,
any of the name places.
Sure.
Yeah.
We just like the mom and pops.
Yeah, big box. I mean, they have their place, but ultimately, I think you touched it. I mean, my wife and I living in Villa Rica, we come to Carrollton all the time just to eat. You know, I will say this, and Carrollton does it too. There's a golf cart community here. I don't know that y'all have picked up on it as much as we have in Villa Rica, but that is such a fun thing for me and my family to do.
We ride 4-wheelers out in the country.
You do, yes. Sheriff's Department will be discussing that, right? But just riding downtown on a golf cart, being able to take in summer nights with concerts, movies. I mean, it's just such a cool experience. And again, it always goes back to you can find a great house anywhere, but doesn't it just kind of amplify when it's a place that you can plant and see your kids, have safety, have a family? It takes a village, and I feel like even if you don't know people around, everybody's kind of keeping an eye out on everybody, which is extremely beneficial.
Yeah, the community and the schools we have here are really good. Our county school is a great school system. Our city school system's great. We have some private options around as well, Montessori options. And I think it's a great place to raise your family, to work, and to grow your family. It's just really fantastic area. So it makes it easy on us as real estate professionals to kind of help guide people like that, which is what we say all the time. We just want to be a part of their story.
That's right.
And this area is all part of our story, for sure.
Right.
And one of my favorite parts, I guess I should have said, because the climate, even though we have a lot of humidity here in the summertime, it still kind of beats the heck out of the cold up north where I grew up. And so I think our winters here are milder. And
for sure.
Not quite as mild as Miami or Fort
Right,
Lauderdale.
and that's one thing I really, really love is having the seasons.
Yeah.
We never had seasons in South Florida. And y'all don't know humidity until you've been down there.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to go down there. I'll stay where I live.
Yeah. We don't need any more humidity. But, we have, like, the Roy Cross. Let's give a shout-out to a client. They came from, was it Arizona?
Arizona.
And, I mean, it was a big move to a small place like Carrollton. And I remember us showing them all different parts of West Georgia and then them coming to a pie party and just talking about how much they've loved just the
it
downtown.
warmed my heart, man.
I mean,
that really blessed my heart to hear that, because that's a big move. And they literally said, we love everything about this place.
With young kids and able to plug in, I mean, that's more than a transaction.
That is.
And that's what we really care about at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you ever want to come to the West Georgia area, obviously we're available. But, man, we would just challenge you guys, too, to tell us about your hometown. What makes it home for you? Because I think when we can focus on the good things, it really brings a sense of just connectiveness and community that I think our hearts long for. And so, but if you do want to come to us, we actually know some folks around here that have Airbnbs on the lake here in town that are realtors. We got places that we can help show and sell to you. But ultimately, hey, just come for a weekend. Come visit us, man. We got enough going on around here, and we'd love to have you a part of our family. So thanks for tuning in to this podcast, and we can't wait to talk to you next time.